is In the Know for Friday, September 5, the 248th day of 2025. There are 117 days left in the year. Good morning, indeed. Guiding you through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Your chance to see tonight's Confederate Railroad concert comes up with the water cooler question, and we'll have the Cougar Sports Report, that and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's the Jeff. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
You smell good,
Thanks.
and you look like you have a new shirt.
I do. Both birthday. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for those of you who are not viewing, she has a brand new Sanford and Son salvage. We buy and sell junk. 9114 South Central Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90002. And I just thought for someone who, has Vandelay Industries, you also got to be in the Sanford and Son business,
Yes.
you and classic TV show. You are someone who can reread the same book. You can't? You will? You have?
I have. We'll go with that.
But you don't necessarily enjoy it.
There are a few classics. Catcher in the Rye, which I know what I'm going to get on that one. Little Women. There are a few classics that I will reread.
So a new survey of 2,000 U.S. readers says the average person has read their favorite book 6 times and plans to read it 7 more times. And the top reason is because they like the nostalgia of it.
I don't know. There's no telling how many times I've read Charlotte's Web, and there's no telling how many copies we have of it in this house.
Right. I am somewhat, that's one of my biggest problems is when I go try to find a book, I grab something out of the library, and then I get somewhere.
So I guess I did reread a lot of the same books when I was younger. My access, even though they took me to the library all the time, I read all the time. So I would reread more then. But I read The Indian in the Cupboard multiple times as well.
I thought about myself. I can watch the same movies over and over. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But I can't do it with books for some reason, but just kind of the way it goes. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
I'm tired. How about you?
Well, I'm trying to battle off a cold. I can't tell you that I'm sick, but I don't sound very good. You're tired. She's sick. We're just a mess today, apparently. Here it is on a Friday.
At least it's Friday. Friday.
You were afraid you weren't going to make it home in time to see any of the game last night, the Eagles and the Cowboys, but thanks to a pretty lengthy rain delay, did you get to see any of it?
No, I had too much to do when I got home, so I'm behind. So I didn't get to watch any of it.
Gotcha. Okay, and we'll get your whereabouts yesterday. We'll get that in the Cougar Sports Report, and we'll follow up on all things Cougar Sports coming up later on in the show. Sam, the NFL season, of course, kicks off this weekend. The Bengals open with who?
Cleveland.
Bengals and the Browns, okay? And if you, at some point in time in the future, were involved in collaborating on setting a wedding date, would you avoid fall dates in the? Would you avoid dates in the fall because of football season?
It would depend. I mean, I think a Saturday, but you'd want to make sure that you get one that's like a UK bye week or something.
Well, it won't be that way every year. So, like, your anniversary then ends up on a Saturday in the SEC, where...
my friend that I have my Bengals season tickets with, he got married. If you remember, a couple of years ago, I had to do a Cougar football game from his wedding.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that was... It's mid-October is when his wedding is. So there is he's missed 1 or 2 Bengals games because it's been the anniversary.
I guess that works out okay for you.
I would prefer he didn't miss the game because
Oh.
then I'm scrambling trying to find someone to take the ticket. So
Oh, that's right. You all go together rather than you don't alternate. You all go to the games together.
oh yeah.
That makes
No,
sense.
it's me and him that have the tickets.
Very good. Today is, according to our friends at Wave, is an alert day. We're going to see scattered strong storms possible this afternoon, mainly in the Kentucky portions of Wave Country. When I look at it, it looks later in the day to me, like later in the evening, but the rain chance does jump up throughout the evening hours, but not really high, at least for the Grayson County areas, but still something that you need to pay attention to. They're saying primarily the hours between 3 and 8 p.m. for our area, but I think your mileage I think it's kind of off to the south. I think it's more Tennessee and northern Nashville, northern Tennessee, and then into southern Kentucky based, maybe more so than specifically for us, but may get some rain tonight. And Sunday, by the way, if you can get that far, is going to be perfect. Its forecast is good. The forecast for Sunday is spectacular. Sunny skies, low humidity, highs in the 70s. Sunday night's going to be clear and cool. Expect lows in the 40s and low 50s. But between now and then, we'll see a rain chance of 40% today, a high of 86. Rain and thunder tonight, an overnight low of 57. Your rain chances are at 80% tonight. Then tomorrow, rain early, afternoon clearing, some clouds, a high of 73. By the time of the kickoff in Lexington tomorrow, I think it will be drying out. Ahead of the rain that we got starting on Wednesday, and then we're expecting to get at least some rain today and into tomorrow. More than half of Kentucky is now in moderate drought, according to the Drought Monitor weekly report that was issued yesterday morning. But it remains to be seen what effect the rain that we got a couple of days ago and the forecast rain for tonight will have on next week's report. Only 4.84% of the state is considered to have no drought, and that's down from 13% previous week. So we're getting certainly drier as we go. So these rain showers that we have will be a bit welcome to, as I said earlier in the week, at least knock the dust down a little bit. FEMA, want to remind you of a deadline and a little bit of an update on the disaster relief that FEMA's been doing here in the Commonwealth in 2025. FEMA has distributed more than $100 million to Kentuckians impacted by severe weather this year. $63.3 million to about 7,400 households from the February storms and floods, $32 million to about 3,800 households from the April severe storms, and then $3.3 million to about 600 households in the May tornadoes. And that was primarily the Somerset area and in that portion of the state. But there is a deadline looming if for whatever reason you were impacted but you have not acted for whatever reason. There is a deadline, I think it's September the 22nd, to apply for disaster loans to offset losses. And there are a bunch of counties involved, but I'm just going to give you the counties that are most likely to be important to you. It's Breckenridge, Butler, Edmondson, Grayson, Hardin, Hart, Meade, Muhlenberg, Ohio, and branches out from there. But those are the ones that you're most likely to need to know about. Again, September the 22nd is the deadline for disaster relief assistance. And you can find out more at sba.gov, sba.gov, or obviously your FEMA website will have that information as well. RFK lit up Capitol Hill yesterday with some pretty big fighting and words being exchanged. He was called a charlatan by Pocahontas. And he didn't call her Pocahontas, but the president typically does. So Elizabeth Warren told him he was a charlatan. And then you saw some GOP senators that are physicians taking him, challenging him and his ideas as well. So it was a fiery day on Capitol Hill. And then also expect today the Trump administration is going to attempt to rename or at least subtitle the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and which would be going back to its old name that it used to be. So I'm not sure if it's just semantics or what your war sounds aggressive. And if aggressive is what you're looking for, then maybe that's what you want. A woman was killed and a Grayson County man was injured, and 2 children were seriously injured in a crossover crash during the heavy rainfall on the WK Parkway just east of Clarkson. It happened early yesterday morning about 4:25 at the 117 mile marker. Upon learning that it was a fatality by the first responders from the sheriff's office, fire, EMS, etc., They requested state police to come in and investigate the incident since it involved a fatality. It shows a 2017 Honda Civic, which was being driven by a 30-year-old man from Houston, Texas, was traveling west when the vehicle crossed the median and struck head-on an eastbound '08 Lincoln MKZ, which was being driven by Isaac Hearn of Litchfield. An adult female passenger in the Honda, who is from Honduras, was pronounced deceased at the scene by the Grayson County coroner, and he was assisted. Coroner Ferris was assisted by Deputy James Embry there at the scene. 2 juveniles in the Honda who suffered serious injuries were transported by EMS to Norton's Children's Hospital. Hearn was transported to Owensboro Health Twin Lakes, and according to a social media post, has been released from the hospital. Now, the man from Houston, and the reason that I haven't given you his name is just because I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, but it looks like Zequin. It starts with a T and then follows with a Z, Iquin, and really his name is irrelevant to the story. But he walked away from the scene and then returned, and he was arrested and charged with leaving the scene of an accident, failure to render aid, no operator's license. He was lodged in the Grayson County Detention Center. They have not released the name of the Honduran woman who lost her life in the accident. The parkway was shut down for a little while early yesterday morning. So not sure of the particulars. We think of I-65, being a major highway, major transit route from people moving in the southern United States to the northern United States. Doesn't mean our parkways aren't being used as well. People crossing through Grayson County by the minute who they're traveling across country. You don't know what their stories might be, but unfortunately that accident turned out to be deadly for one woman early yesterday morning. Governor Beshear got some news yesterday from SiriusXM that they are going to give his new podcast a national platform starting this month, along with featuring him in a regular call-in show on what's called their Progress Network. The reason that it is of note is because if he has serious interest in being a presidential candidate in 2028, he has to up his national familiarity, because when he got a little bit of being on the Harris short list, he got a little bit of knowledge and awareness created in 2024. But he is using the playbook of President Trump, who used the Joe Rogan podcast as a way to reach younger voters. You've seen Gavin Newsom out in California, who is actively using podcasts. And so he is trying to create content then that would appeal nationally to Democratic voters. And that's part of, I presume, his strategy on what might be next for him. It will be very interesting to see. I mean, it's going to be extremely interesting to see what happens in Kentucky if Andy Beshear were to become a presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. I long said that if Beshear is the second space on the ticket against someone like President Trump, there's no chance that Andy Beshear is going to carry the electoral votes in that race. But you take a lesser known, you take, say, a J.D. Vance, and you take a Andy Beshear, and you put them on a head-to-head. Would Kentucky, who elected Andy Beshear twice as its governor, would they then allow the 8 electoral votes to go to Beshear in a state that hasn't gone for a Democrat, I think, probably since Bill Clinton? So it will be, it's just going to be an interesting mathematical game if he chooses to go that direction. But who knows? He may also end up as a VP candidate rather than a presidential candidate. But he's got the platform now, or at least a shot in the arm to have a national platform to reach potential voters in the coming years. Sam, in a piece of content that I guess you published yesterday, and while we got the Cougar Sports Report that's coming up, this piece of information, I think, defies. This is an actual news story more than just a
I didn't know whether you wanted to talk about it now or talk about it next segment.
Well, we got so many other things to talk about in the Cougar Sports Report. I thought that this probably deserves a little spotlight on its own, that the Grayson County High School Cougar basketball team will be in the prestigious King of the Bluegrass basketball tournament this coming December. Now, I know, I happen to know that you have known this has been bubbling for a little while, but the to be able to make the announcement officially, I would imagine Coach Johnston has to be excited and happy to make the announcement.
Yeah, I guess I've known this since probably April.
Okay.
And I've had that story that you just read has been written since April. And it's been just like, because that's, inside baseball in the business. A lot of, you'll just write a story and you just wait to hit publish until the day that we can say it.
Right.
And usually it comes out in June. So that's why I wrote it when it does. But it came out yesterday that the field for the 2025 King of the Bluegrass tournament, but it's a huge deal for this program. As Coach Johnston said there, he said, it's an opportunity you can't say no to if you're asked.
Sure.
And the Cougars also are going to be playing in other big events this year. I think there's one more that is of note that I don't think can talk about yet. But that'll be coming out, I would imagine, very, very soon as well.
I didn't realize. I remember, because I remember going as a kid in '82 when that great Cougar team went and was in the King of the Bluegrass tournament. I remember being there, very vividly being there. But I guess I didn't realize. I thought the King of the Bluegrass tournament was already established by then because it was a high-profile event, but it only started in '81.
Yeah, it was the second year of it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, you have the list there in front of you of some of the athletes that have played it. Muggsy Bogues, O.J. Mayo, Rajon Rondo. But then I really liked the next line after that. You have it in front of you on, what is it? How many Olympians have played in it or something, isn't it?
Yeah. One won a gold medal. 18
Yes.
former athletes went on to play in the NFL. And then, you have a bunch, several Olympians in there. But
I just thought that was really cool, that it's not just basketball players that have
Sure.
played in this event. And listen, it'll be really cool for Grayson to be able to do that. So now we're probably going to be burning up I-65 for a couple of days there, heading to the south side of Fairdale.
Well, if you don't pay very close attention to why they would be doing this, you will see this historically. It happened in '82. It's happened with the multiple state tournament teams or third region championship teams. When coaches feel like they have the talent to compete in the KHSAA Sweet 16, they want their team to be as seasoned and experienced and tested as possible before they get to that tournament. So playing the best of the best, going up, it's going to improve everybody's game, because even if you're not victorious, you will have tempered your steel just a little bit and been.
It's the Todd Johnston special.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a brilliant move and great marquee. Going to get some great exposure, for Jack and the whole team, the whole program, the whole school. Got to get to a break. When we come back, we will have the Cougar Sports Report. We'll look back on the week in Cougar Sports. There's a football game tonight. We'll preview that. Hang around. Plenty more on the way. You're on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County, because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
Successful small business owners know that having an ally in decoding the data of your business performance is vital. A trusted source that can interpret financial reports, advise on tax code, and assess overall performance can be the difference between sleepless nights and peace of mind. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart is your ally in making sure your business is performing at an optimum level. Call or contact today to find out how Buckles, Travis & Hart can help fine-tune your business to create peak performance. 270-259-5604. GraysonCPAs.com.
Expecting a baby or have a little one under a year old? Join us for the annual community baby shower, Thursday, September 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Center on Main in Litchfield. You'll meet local vendors and community partners, get expert answers to your parenting questions, enjoy door prizes, education, resources, and free goodies, all at no cost to you. Don't miss it, September 11th at the Center on Main from 5 to 7. Brought to you by your local health department, where we are working today for a healthier tomorrow.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start October 20th. Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
All right, come here.
Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them, but with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly, so get it in your head.
Check the back seat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
There are buttons to button, snacks to prepare, math problems to help with, and boo-boos to kiss. If you have people who need you need life insurance. Talk to a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent about a policy that protects the ones you love. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment. The amount of life insurance coverage that you may qualify for or apply for is subject to medical and financial underwriting by Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company in Jackson, Mississippi.
OpenAI says it's going to put up new safety guardrails after accusations mount that its ChatGPT AI has encouraged suicide, murder, and self-harm. Here's Michael Kastner.
The company is facing lawsuits, including one from the parents of a 16-year-old boy that committed suicide after long talks with ChatGPT. The company says that by the end of the year, it will be harder for teens to use the service without more direct parental oversight. It's also trying to make it easier for users to be directed to emergency services that help as the bot learns to better recognize signs of distress.
And President Trump is hosting over 20 high-profile tech CEOs Thursday for the first event in the newly renovated Rose Garden. Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg, Apple CEO Tim Cook, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, and OpenAI founder Sam Altman are all on the invite list. The event comes as many tech industry leaders have looked to build a stronger relationship with Trump, with companies adjusting their policies to do away with DEI initiatives to align with the administration. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Hand, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good.
Today is Be Late for Something Day. I haven't decided what I'm going to be late for. I'm not going to be late for my nap, that's for sure. It's Lazy Mom's Day.
Score!
It's Cheese Pizza Day.
That kind of goes along with lazy.
Yeah, it's just a lost opportunity. I don't really understand cheese
Depends
pizza.
on who you are.
Like, cheese pizza is better than no pizza, but
Yeah, that's true. It feels like we came up
well,
short.
better than a
of-
veggie pizza or
short
a
of the
pineapple
goal.
pizza. I'll take cheese over that.
Today is Food Bank Day. Shout out to our friends at the Grayson County Alliance. Tomorrow is Fight Procrastination Day. Just do it day. Tomorrow is Barbie Doll Day. Tomorrow, Read a Book Day.
I need to finish a book.
If I go to the football game tomorrow, that means it'll probably be a little bit quiet. So maybe you might read tomorrow, because I won't be pestering you and bothering you.
Maybe.
And Sunday is Feel the Love Day. It's different than Valentine's Day. It's just called Feel the Love Day. Today is the day we are also setting aside some time to look back on a busy weekend in Cougar sports. It's Cougar on Cougar crime tonight, Sam, as McLean County comes to town. This game used to mean a little bit more during the Ed Smart era, because he came from McLean County and there was a little extra juice between the two schools. But these schools know each other very well. They're very similar. They played in the same basketball district for a long time, even though they didn't play a lot in football. So even though it's a school that's kind of far away, still had a kind of a decent rivalry over the years with the bad Cougars.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game, and they've played this now, I guess this is maybe the 5th straight year that they've played this matchup, so it's good to have a matchup like this because, Grayson is size-wise bigger than McLean County, but, I guess people-wise is probably pretty similar. As far as just growing up, they're close. They're about probably as close to Owensboro as Grayson is to E-Town, depending on where you live and so on. So you get some similarities between the two teams.
I was going to make that very same point. Kind of our proximity to E-Town and their proximity to Owensboro, similar, rural in nature, agricultural in nature, small towns. Everybody kind of knows everybody, or at least at one point in time did. Now, while I say that these teams, at least football-wise, are not overly familiar with themselves, this is the 19th all-time meeting. So out of, more than 50 seasons of Cougar football, they have met nearly, 2 decades worth of times. But the Cougars have the good Cougars from Litchfield have a distinct advantage in the record for this series.
Yeah, 14-4 overall. The GC Cougars. I guess if we're going to say Cougars, we're talking about Grayson. We're just going to say that. If we're calling the Cougars, it's Grayson tonight. They've won 2 straight and 13 of 14 against McLean. 9-1 all-time in Litchfield, though. The only time McLean County has won in Litchfield was the first ever meeting between these two teams back in the 70s. So it's been a while since McLean has won a game in good old Litchfield. But tonight could be different.
There was one also other footnote. Not only do they have the same mascot, but the schools were built about the same time, maybe within a year of one another. And I've shared this with you before, but you might have forgotten. They don't look like one another now, but when they were built in the 70s, in the early to mid-70s, the schools were almost identical in their look. They were designed by the same people. I think they were probably built by the same people. The brick color was the same. The architecture was the same. And so it was very odd to pull onto their campus. And it was like you were seeing your own school. And so there's kind of been a similarity of that over the years as well. Coach Todd Johnston was down there for quite some time. So we've been very, I guess, fraternal or frenemies with them over the years. But before we finalize on tonight, let's kind of go back to last week. First meeting between Grayson County and Anderson County. And I know you said injuries kind of ruled the day on Friday night. But what did you take away from Anderson County and what they brought to the field?
They were really physical. Really physical. It was something, George and I, we didn't do much of a preview because obviously we were preoccupied with other things last Friday.
Of course.
But that was, my takeaway from what I had gained from them, what Coach Jones had told me in the conversations we had, is that they were big and they were physical, and Grayson was going to have to find a way to answer that. And whether it was they didn't have the answer to that, if it was injuries, if it was a little bit of a mix, and sometimes it's just not your night. And it was just not their night in the second half. It was Anderson County's night, and that's the way it goes. And, as we talked post-game, it's better to have not your night on August the 30th of last week than to have it on November the whatever it might be.
I think also when you think about the complexion of Anderson County, that I think their school sits right there on 127, I think. We were using proximity. Anderson County to Frankfort, Anderson County to Lexington. It's a big community, and their school system is consolidated. Like, there's not a Lawrenceburg High, as far as I'm aware.
No.
So they get, as being a suburb community of the state capital of Franklin County, they get a lot of good athletes, and they can be choosy about who's on the roster and the talent they develop. So I'm not surprised to hear, it might have been playing something even on the level of a Hardin County school.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Grayson, athleticism-wise, Grayson in some instances may have been the more athletic team last week, but Anderson is, as Coach Jones says, it was just like they were playing a bunch of big old farm boys. Just strong, big, and everything that came with it, and Grayson just didn't have the answer for that physicality, and in a lot of the issues last week was shooting themselves in the foot. They had a couple of bad snaps on a punt. They threw a pick six. They had a fumble. It just was one of those that when the wheels fell off, the wheels fell off.
The game was tied at halftime, as I recall.
It was 14-7. They were trailing, and the Cougars had the ball driving. They had a big play that was called back for a penalty, and it was almost like that penalty broke the dam. And it just was one of those that we blinked, and John and I looked at one another and said, what happened? Why is it now all of a sudden 33-7 in the period of about, you could even just say 15 actual minutes, not game minutes, 15 actual minutes. It just got way out of hand really quick.
Jake Bratcher will be QB1 for the Cougars tonight through week 2. He's 16 of 23, 128 yards, 1 interception, also picked up 39 yards on the ground. But tell me about Ethan Mudd. He's kind of off to a good start.
Yeah, he's running the ball well. He is thing that Coach Jones has been the most impressed with is just his ability to sneak out the ball as a linebacker. He's been playing with a good passion and a purpose. So he's rushed for 56 yards. He has 3 tackles for a loss as well. But then Camden Cornwell on the defensive side of the ball has been really good as well. That Mudd-Cornwell duo as linebackers are leading the team in tackles, looking pretty good on that Cougar defense.
You tell me, did I read somewhere that Camden has like 16 tackles already through 2 weeks?
16 through 2 weeks.
Wow.
And he's playing really well to open up the year, and he's a good kid, and I'm sure he's ready to take on bigger roles as this season goes along.
So one of these two teams will pick up their second victory of the season tonight. McLean County, 1-on-1. What did they do in the first 2 weeks?
They lost to Muhlenberg 22-0. That's a huge rivalry. That's probably, I don't know that it's quite on the level of Grayson Edmondson, but it's at least the rivalry for McLean. And they lost that one 22-0. And then last week they went on the road to Caverna, and they blew out Caverna in that game. I think 44-8 or something was the final score. It was never really close.
So I saw something somewhere. I used the word frenemy earlier, and I think maybe that's probably an unfair word. That's something I'm having fun with, because tonight there's something that is clear more friendly and friendship and fraternal and collegial going on. They had is it their quarterback that was in a very bad accident?
Yeah, their projected quarterback, Nate Engelhart, was in a really bad ATV accident, and he's still hospitalized, and it is, traumatic brain injury and everything. It's just, it's horrible what that community is having to go through and what that team is, but they're playing with a purpose, and I know at tonight's game, if you're coming, which you should because it's going to be a great night, they're going to be collecting donations for him and his family as he is still in the hospital fighting, and definitely bigger than the game kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it'd be great for the community to help out, and obviously we pray the best for that outcome. We promised to kind of a look back on other Cougar sports ahead of tonight's football game. I know that volleyball has been very active. They were on a really nice streak, but the old saying is all good things must come to an end.
Yep, 8-game winning streak rather was snapped last night at Owensboro Catholic. They're 8-2 though, so they're having a great start to the season. They're going to host McLean on Monday, and then they will travel to Edmondson on Tuesday for their first meeting of the year with the Lady Cats. And listen, if you've never been to a high school volleyball game, you need to come out and do that because it's a lot of fun. Bring the kids. The energy of those matches is a lot of fun.
Lots of action. Lots of action to keep track of.
And pretty easy to understand.
You were on the pitch last night. I saw you there with my own eyes. And tell me about your night with Cougar and Lady Cougar soccer.
Boys won the first match 2-0. Connor Lee scored a pair of goals, so he was our hometown hangout MVP for that. You score both the team's goals, it's hard not to make you the MVP.
That's true. Yeah.
And so he did that. They're going to host Campbellsville on Tuesday, and then in the nightcap, the girls, they defeated Edmondson 8-1. You had Hope Lewis, freshman, had a hat trick, and then Charlie Johnston, another freshman, had 2 goals. So the freshmen were showing out for Grayson. And it was really weird in the second half. If you watch the game, it was so foggy that I made a talk to Matt Jarbo, the head coach. He came over and said something to us after the game. I said, I'm glad that didn't go into extra time because we wouldn't have been able to see the players. Because it wasn't very windy and the cold, and it was something out of, I think I heard a fan say, it was something out of a Jason movie. It's getting a little creepy there at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of swampy back there in that area behind the school. That always has been. That's how we got that nickname from our friends to the south. Cross country in a unique event tomorrow. It's kind of a different format for cross country.
Yeah, I was reading about this yesterday. The Panther Prowl Relay tomorrow morning. So they're trying something different, and they're teaming up. So your teammate, they'll do 2 pairs. It's a pair. So you get 2 athletes, and they will run each a 3K. And they'll combine your time. So it is a 6K race. So you'll have teams of 2 that will race on these squads. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
All right, tell me about the golf teams.
They're headed up to my neck of the woods. The girls are tomorrow. So they're going to be at Eagle Creek Golf Club in Grant County, which is in Dry Ridge, which is I mean I could try and explain you where that is, but it's I guess a little closer to Cincinnati than it is to Lexington. I guess if you're going to say it's not quite halfway, but it's one of the places that you would stop if you were needing to go to the restroom or something between Cincinnati and Lexington.
Yeah.
And then they'll be both teams will be at E-Town Country Club on Wednesday, and then the girls will host up in Falls of Rough, Owensboro on Thursday.
I saw some chatter going on within the band program tonight. They are just like you, preparing for potential wet weather tonight and what they do in that eventuality, because they need their uniforms fresh and ready to go for tomorrow.
Yes, because they're headed to Washington County tomorrow. They have a night performance, as they think it's 8 Eastern. Maybe they go on the field tomorrow. Washington County, too. I drive by that when I'm headed to Danville. They have just built a brand new facility in the last year or two, and it looks like it's a really, really nice facility.
Do you have PTSD from going to Washington County?
Yeah, that's the one time I've forgotten the equipment. Yeah, one time in 7 years, I guess, or 8 years now, I've forgotten equipment. Knock on wood.
One of the reasons that I mentioned that they stand out to me is they have a kind of a reciprocal agreement. Washington County always comes to the Twin Lakes Marching Classic, and so this is Grayson County kind of returning the favor.
Yeah, because I think it's the first time they've ever held a competition.
I think so. So Washington County been so supportive of us. I think this is our opportunity to return the favor. I'll tell you, the Cougar conversations of the first 2 weeks have been very good. I enjoyed watching Lindsay and Lindsay, attorneys at law, radio and engineer last week. I enjoyed seeing that. What do you have lined up for tonight on Cougar Conversations?
Yeah, I thought Jordan last week was really interesting. Just fast. I mean, that guy is experienced so much that we can't even really wrap our brains around.
Hey, listen, I got to tell you something that I wanted to mention earlier. The highlight of Lindsay and Lindsay Cougar Conversations is when he mentioned his mentor in Brennan Sapp, but he didn't mention Brennan. He just said Sapp. And then George is over here, and he thinks it's Coach Emma Sapp. And so, but you can immediately tell in Jordan's brilliant mind, he's thinking, do I call it out? Do I call it to his attention? Do I call it to his attention? That's not factual. That's not factual. And so he did finally circle back and said, I think we're talking about two different Mr. Sapps. So that was the highlight yesterday. It
was really good. This week, though, we have a really, really cool interview. Mason Parker. He just graduated in 2021. So he's the son of Gary Parker, principal at the middle school.
Yeah.
He is currently working as a dialogue editor in L.A., in Hollywood. And it is interesting. And this is one of those that, our full conversation was about 19 minutes long. Go to the YouTube channel this weekend and watch it, because it was one of those that I was like, oh, how do I make this shorter? I was like, I don't want to cut this aspect. I don't want to cut this. But I'm like, I can't play the full 19 minutes at halftime, but I wish we could.
Mason,
including, he tells a story that you can see on the full version of the time he met Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban.
Oh, wow. Okay. That sounds exciting. So consider me tuned in for that. Mason was a great piano player. He's a great musician with the Cougar Band, and sounds like he's doing great things. Can't wait to get caught up with him. That's tonight at halftime. Cougars versus McLean County Locker Room Show at 6:30. Cougar Walk at 6 tonight, Sam?
That is right. Come out and support the team or join. Jake Clemens is going to be back with me in the booth here tonight, so we're looking forward to that.
Okay, yeah. So be
calling in the bullpen.
Hear from Jake. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Today's water cooler question, your chance to win. Coming up, you're on In the Know.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
On the basketball court, you have to know where the lines are. It's just as important to know where the lines are in your own yard. Kentucky law generally requires you to have underground utility lines located before most excavation work, even if it's on your own property. If you don't call 811 and you damage a natural gas line, the Kentucky Public Service Commission will investigate you and you may be fined up to $1,250. Much better to stay within the bounds of the law and call before you dig to start putting in that backboard or goalpost. For more information, visit psc.ky.gov. This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
Ugh, my storage is full. I have to delete some photos. Don't need these. Our holiday world trip?
You can't delete those.
The one of Mom's hair after riding Thunderbird?
My hair? Remember Zach's blue ice cream face?
No, I'm keeping these forever.
At Holiday World and Splash and Safari, we can't free up your phone storage, but we do have free soft drinks, parking, and sunscreen. Time to make room for the good stuff. Visit holidayworld.com.
Friday night in Litchfield, it's a Cougar showdown. Grayson County hosts McLean County in a non-district battle. Both teams come in at 1-1 with Grayson looking to bounce back and McLean riding momentum after a big win. Coverage on Friday starts with the Locker Room Show at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Watch live on the K105 YouTube channel or listen on K105 and the K105 app. It's Cougar football only on K105.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds today with highs in the 80s this afternoon. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms will pop mainly across Kentucky. And some of those Kentucky storms can produce some heavy rain, damaging winds, hail, and even an isolated tornado. So stay weather aware. Once we head into the evening hours, our severe threat will drop off. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Did you know 1997 is as far away as 2053?
Goodness.
So, Sam, was that the year you were born, roughly?
And the year I graduated high school.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to, she might smack me.
I love it. Like, yes, it's always.
It's
yeah, it's
you,
like
that's on
reality
you. That's
smack.
not on me. That's
true.
on
You didn't bring it up.
Didn't do it.
I brought it up. Here's today's water cooler question. If you or your household have not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win. You're going to text your answer to 270-259-6000. 270-259-6000. One last shot for you to win tickets to see Confederate Railroad tonight at Logston Valley Park. I believe right before the opening act of Emily Portman, I believe Kevin Henderson is going to sing Happy Birthday to himself in front of the entire crowd. So that's something you definitely want to show up. And he's going to be singing Happy 55th Birthday to me. Happy 55th Birthday to me. And then you can throw Rotten Tomatoes at him if you want. Here's the question. You're going to text your answer to 270-259-6000. 38% of us have secretly done this to our partner. What is it? 38% of us have secretly done this to our partner. What is it? Text your answer to 270-259-6000. Be good. Okay, everybody got something written down? I don't think so.
Wow.
I can't recall a time if I have.
Do you think she has?
But she may. I mean, when she hears the answer, she may object to that. So I can't say with certainty.
Do you think I have?
To you?
I don't think so. I really don't think. I don't think that you have. But I guess we'll find out coming up in about 5 or 6 minutes. New movies this week. The Conjuring: Last Rites is an R-rated horror mystery. Twinless is out today. That's Dylan O'Brien and James Sweeney. It's get 97% on Tomato Meter. The Conjuring is only getting 60% on the Tomato Meter. But perhaps if you have never bought a ticket or you don't own a subscription to Disney Plus, you might not have ever seen Hamilton. So Hamilton, because of its 10-year anniversary, the version that has been available on Disney Plus for the last, I guess, 4 years, is perhaps 5, I think it's 4 years, is going to be available on the big screen at least beginning this weekend. So be an interesting to see how it does for something that's been so accessible. But you think, well, if you don't have a Disney Plus subscription, then you certainly haven't been able to see it.
I believe Lilo and Stitch came out this week on Disney Plus too.
I
the
think
live
you're
action
right.
version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, it will be. We ended up buying it, didn't
Yeah,
we? So
we did.
Yeah, we bought it. Shabuzi is teaming up with the NFL for their Thursday night football theme. So I didn't see the beginning of it last night. I did see a notification that someone got ejected before the game even started. Jalen Carter from the Eagles, but I certainly missed Shabuzi's theme song.
Last night wasn't Thursday night football technically.
It wasn't?
It was NBC did it.
Oh, so Thursday night is the NFL game.
Correct.
So that so that will be
on
next
Prime,
week.
on the Prime game.
Oh yeah, that's right. So it'd be on Prime. So Shabuzi will be doing the opening for them for the week 2. I guess it will be Commanders and Packers next Thursday night.
It's a pretty good game to open up.
I did finish all of the America's Team documentary. It's 8 episodes. It's not quite 8 hours, but the episodes are like 40 to 50 minutes long or so. It's really good. It's done extremely, extremely well, and certainly doesn't make me like Jerry Jones anymore. Sesame Street, hundreds of classic episodes are going to hit YouTube in a new deal. Season 56 will premiere on Netflix and PBS Kids in November. But YouTube is going to have, they lost their deal with HBO in December, but Netflix later secured the rights for new episodes and about 90 hours of library content. But the new agreement with YouTube and the Sesame Workshop is going to bring hundreds of classic episodes to the platform beginning in January. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? The White Lotus is headed to France for season 4. So they've been to Hawaii, they've been to Italy, they've been to Thailand, and now season 4 will be in Parlez-vous Français? On the flight back from Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, I watched Gladiator 2. I had not seen it up to this point. I really liked the original one with Russell Crowe. Paul Mescal, who played the lead in that role, did a tremendous job. He's going to show his range. He's going to be in a Beatles biopic, and he will do his own singing, and he has spent time with Paul McCartney. So you get mentored by Paul McCartney, and then you go out there and you try to sing.
To try and sing like him.
It absolutely is, but I guess he's following. He says, well, if Timothy Chalamet can do Bob Dylan, perhaps I can do Paul McCartney. Lady Gaga's fans are slamming her minimal presence in Wednesday. You said that you had to go look and see what character you were playing because you couldn't find out necessarily.
And we're not there yet, so.
Right, and so no spoilers, but her character's name is Rosaline Rotwood.
And I know where she's coming in at.
But people are mad because because she's been underused. They're saying, well, I mean, you made this big deal that she was going to be in it, and then you're not using her properly. So I guess you guys will find out when you watch it. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. I'll have Point to Ponder. We'll figure out who wins the water cooler question. Chart toppers and get you sent off into the weekend the right way. Coming up here on In the Know.
Nobody wants a bad marriage, and nobody can have a perfect one. That can be a dilemma for couples who are looking for their relationship sweet spot. How can you know when good enough is good enough? World-renowned therapist and researcher John Gottman says he has the answer. He calls the marriage sweet spot good enough marriages. My guess is that label doesn't inspire you with visions of love and romance. A good enough marriage kind of sounds like you're waving a white flag, like you're only happy because you've lowered your expectations so far that misery doesn't feel so bad anymore. It's not like that at all, according to Dr. Gottman. He says good enough marriages don't settle for anything. They're strong in 3 important areas: respect, love, and affection. Happy couples don't always agree. In fact, they're often like night and day from each other. But if they're affectionate and if they love and respect each other, they almost always report feeling good about their marriage. There's something quietly special about ordinary couples who love each other, however imperfectly, and who cherish their lives together. That kind of meaningful commitment may not set off fire alarms in your romance, but it's the backbone of any healthy marriage. Don't ever stop pursuing all that your marriage can be, but recognize that, in the meantime, good enough really is good enough. To help your marriage thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
God is at work and He's calling His people to rise in truth. Truth Rising is a powerful new documentary from Focus on the Family and the Colson Center. See how ordinary Christians choose courage in a culture that needs truth. Watch Truth Rising starting September 5th and find out how you can be a part of the change and become an agent of restoration. Sign up at truthrising.com. That's truthrising.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard joining Medi-Share can save families up to $500 a month, and obviously that's a big deal, but they like it too, especially being part of something that reflects their values instead of working against them. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. Find out more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Did you know there's money available to help you pay for trade school or college? Yep, and all you need to do is fill out the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA. Completing the FAFSA costs you nothing but time, and it can pay off big. And there are experts across Kentucky who can help. For more info, visit gearupky.org/money. That's gearupky.org/money. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. What's your favorite sandwich or sandwich ingredient?
That's kind of hard. I don't know. I like a good bologna sandwich.
I probably eat more turkey sandwiches than anything.
You do,
but I don't know that it's my favorite. I think it's just the responsible choice. But we had a very good Cuban sandwich
Oh, yeah. Forget about the good ones.
in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And so, and it was a little different. Sometimes the panini is too pressed and
Yeah.
it gets hard.
And I hate
and it's harder to eat. But the bread was a little bit different and it just seemed extremely fresh. But another ingredient I think that I don't use enough, because when I get it, I go, oh, that's really good, is pesto. I think pesto can really set a sandwich off well.
I love pesto.
But it's not something that I use frequently. It's
I
just
do-
typically
I do
mayo.
Turkey, pesto, and like cheese on there. It's
Mozzarella cheese?
Yeah, or a provolone.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a wise
sounds
choice. That
good.
sounds like a good
Yes.
sandwich. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If I
But-
only had provolone, I might.
PB and
You
J.
used to buy.
Ooh,
PB&J, classic.
Yeah.
I like an Italian sub as well.
Italian sub is good. I've never
Can I
been.
say can I say a cheese coney?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Is that a sandwich?
I mean, we don't have time to argue that today, but yeah, I have never enjoyed PB&J. I've enjoyed the PB. I just never enjoyed the.
Have you ever
the
had
J.
an Uncrustable?
No,
You should try one.
I should try one of those.
You've never had an Uncrustable?
Right, I know.
No, never, not a single. No, I'm too old for Uncrustables. They weren't
No.
invented.
No.
But they've been in our home.
Yeah, they just don't. They're not appealing to me.
You've never, been hungry or something, been like, you know what, I
Right.
need a snack. Dinner's coming. Don't want to spoil the dinner.
Not a single once. Not ever.
He's weird.
Not mine. Not
Well,
my
I
entire life.
mean,
You can put peanut butter and chocolate together, but for me, you're not putting together peanut butter and jelly, even though I know that it's a classic choice. The water cooler question for today. 38% of us have secretly done this to our partner. What is it?
Thrown away their favorite article of clothing.
Okay, you're very close.
oh, well, then I'm way off. Logged into their social media.
Okay, that's probably higher than 38%.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
why I
even
was
know
trying
that.
to. But I was trying to think. I didn't think you would do that. Probably. unless it was asked. I guess log in without the other person knowing.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
Snoop.
It is gotten rid of their old stuff without them knowing.
Okay, so at the end of this, I put or items.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think I've ever done that. I think I've asked you, can we discard this? Can I throw this away? I don't think I've ever thrown anything of yours away without you knowing it.
I don't know. There's some T-shirts that I can't find.
No, that's on
and
you.
I
That's
think
not
that's
on me.
on you.
No, I haven't taken any of your T-shirts.
I'm still looking for a couple. I don't know.
Did we have a winner, Sam?
We had a lot of guesses, but it doesn't look like anybody came in with that one.
Okay.
So I guess your only winner is sitting right there next to you.
I guess I'm going. Well, then she can go too. She can go hear the judge sing if she wants to.
Is that going to make people want to go?
I'd rather go
Show
to
up
his
a little
house
later.
and hang out with his wife.
I think he's buying everybody a sandwich for his birthday at the event. That's what I've heard.
And is that phone line 1 right now? From
Today's, should I tell you about TV? The NFL kicks off this weekend. Cougar football tonight. That's big.
6:30 locker room show.
The U.S. Open semifinals and finals are this weekend too, so that will be exciting. Today's highlight in history: this day, 1972, Palestinian militants attacked the Israeli Olympic delegation at the Munich Games, killing 2 and taking 9 others hostage. The First Continental Congress assembled this date in Philadelphia in 1774. William Devane is 86 today. George Lazenby is 86. Al Stewart is 80. Michael Keaton is 74. Rose McGowan is 52. Gone but not forgotten, Louis XIV in 1638. Jack Daniel in 1850. Yes, that one. Arthur Charles Nielsen in 1897. Bob Newhart in 1929. Raquel Welch in 1940. Freddie Mercury in 1946. Loudon Wainwright III, who had a #1 song, or had a hit with Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road, but he was also in MASH, the movie. Sam, who was the Wainwright guy that played for the Cardinals?
Adam,
that's his name?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to chart toppers for today.
Are you in or out on George Lazenby?
No, he's the worst Bond.
Okay.
Without a doubt, he's the worst Bond. 1948, Al Trace.
He only did a few movies too, right?
I think he did 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think it was many.
That's You Call Everybody Darling, in case you didn't figure it out. Let's go to 1957. The Killer, #1.
Yes, I say, come on over, baby. Baby, you can't go wrong.
All right, let's go forward to our Moose friends are out of here in 30 seconds, so we'll see you guys on Monday. 66. The Supremes. All right, let's go forward to 1975. KC and the Sunshine Band with Get Down Tonight. All right, let's go forward to I believe this is 84. John Waite, Missing You. Tag team #1 in 93 with Whoop. There it is. Pink, Just a Pill in 2002. Katy Perry last Friday night in 2011. And 5 years ago today, BTS was #1 with Dynamite. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, to get joy, we must give it. And to keep joy, we must scatter it. To get joy, we must give it. And to keep joy, we must scatter it. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here on Monday for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield. The Twin Lakes Best Mix at K105.